How's it going, Yankee fans? Welcome back to Fireside Yankees with your boys, Alex and Ryan. Big win yesterday. This is kind of our get-right series against the Oakland Athletics. You have to use them as leverage, use them as an opportunity to get back in the win column, and hopefully get some momentum going up into a four-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. And today is Aaron Judge return day. So it's really good for us to be getting some offensive firepower back into the lineup. Of course, he is our best player by a pretty significant margin, and losing him, we have felt it. And we still almost managed to beat the Rays. We could have swept that series, but we freaking blew it. And with Judge, maybe things are different. And hopefully going up into this next upcoming series against them, we can have a little bit more success. But obviously getting him back is a really big deal. The Yankees wanted to give him ample time to make sure he was 100%, make sure this wasn't going to be a lingering thing that became a multiple week IL stint instead of just a couple days. So definitely good to see him back and good to see him back at 100%. But today we want to discuss Harrison Bader, his impact. Obviously we've talked about him pretty extensively the last couple days, but Ryan has a really interesting perspective he wants to share with you guys in terms of where in the batting order he could end up going, because right now Anthony Volpe is struggling, and maybe it's best that they start to change some things up and use Bader in a more prominent way. So Ryan, I'll let you take it away. Before we do that, how you do today, my friend?
I'm doing great. As you mentioned, getting Aaron Judge back is going to be the massive uplift this team needs, right? Not to sit here and say that all the Yankees' problems are solved with Aaron Judge, right? It doesn't fix the fact that the Yankees don't really have a left field situation. It doesn't fix the fact that the Yankees' starting pitching is still a little shaky. And it doesn't fix the fact that the Yankees, as you mentioned, lost that series to the Rays, right? None of that can change. However, what the Yankees can do with Judge back in the lineup is just start winning baseball games. And as you mentioned, this Oakland series should be a get-me-right series. And then you'll have a chance against Tampa. Again, 5-2 week here really can make you feel good about where you are, get yourself right back in the playoff race. But Harrison Bader's been excellent for the Yankees. You did an excellent article detailing, some of the stuff he had talked about with his new change with the bat, right? Shout out Pete Alonso. I did not imagine I'd say Pete Alonso is helping save the Yankees season, but here we are, right? Harrison Bader using that flared bat handle. And I know he also mentioned the mouthpiece he has, that he used that in the postseason because it helped him focus, right? We're seeing better results, right? It's kind of weird, right? You typically don't see a guy, make drastic improvements because of a mouthpiece and a bat handle, right? But, Harrison Bader is a ridiculously talented player. So, maybe it's just those small little tweaks to help him click. I'm not saying he's going to hit like a superstar, but right now the Yankees kind of just need to get things going. And, not to say that Anthony Volpe can't get things going right now, but as you mentioned, he's struggling, right? He's seeing the ball hard and sometimes it's just not dropping for hits. Like, I think he's gotten unbelievably unlucky lately. But I really would like to see Harrison Bader start leading off, kind of how the Yankees did in the postseason, where they moved him to the leadoff spot. They let the hot hand play. And I thought that worked out really well for them. I know that they didn't obviously win in the postseason very much against the Astros, but I'm not really sure how else to put this. But Harrison Bader's just been electric, right? And having him in front of Aaron Judge, can change a lot of things. Harrison Bader is hitting triples. He's aggressive. He's running like he's fully healthy, right? I don't know if he's going to get hurt again. That could totally happen. I'm not counting that out, right? Harrison Bader isn't the healthiest player in the world in terms of injury history, but he's playing 100%. He's playing like he's never gotten hurt in his life, right? Being aggressive on triples. He smells an extra base. He'll go out and take it. He's absolutely clobbering the baseball. He's pulling fly balls. He's generating damage contact consistently. I know he's not the guy who walks a lot, and I know that may, break the mold of a leadoff hitter, but that's not the long-term plan. End of the day, the long-term plan is to have Volpe be the permanent leadoff guy, but this is just making a temporary switch to get the Yankees offense clicking, because if you have Bader, Judge, Rizzo, LeMahieu, Torres, right, that 1 through 5 is really hard to navigate to. Hand it to Volpe at the 6th spot, and then your bottom line can kind of just piece it together. Cabrera's taken some really good swings lately. That's encouraging. Trevino's kind of always been just clutch, right? Like, it's one of those things where I feel like he has a million walk-off hits. If it's the bottom of the 10th and there's a runner on second base and it's 2 outs, I don't see a situation where Jose Trevino doesn't come through. And of course, that left field spot's still a little bit muddy. But, Calhoun's hit better. Bowers has shown some alterations to his game. I'm not going to say Aaron Hicks is back, but Aaron Hicks hit a home run yesterday, which is encouraging, right? You just need to get something from him. So I think you can agree with me here. It's not a matter of like Volpe should never lead off again. It's just a matter of, hey, let's make a little bit of an aggressive switch right now and let's try to capitalize on Harrison Bader's hot streak.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of the thing. Like, same with the bullpen. The Yankees try to ride the hot hand. Look at Ian Hamilton right now. You posted a tweet a couple minutes ago showcasing how great he's been. 1.35 ERA, 1.90 FIP. This is a pitcher who's been dominant the last couple weeks and to start the season. And maybe the Yankees take a similar approach in their batting order and say, hey, you know what? We have a guy that's red hot. Let's have him hitting before Aaron Judge. Go figure. Guy that gets on base, guy that's hitting for extra base hits. He's hitting with power. Bader, obviously, that new bat is doing great for him. I don't know why the leadoff position has to be like this cemented thing. Why can't it be more fluid? Why can't it be more flexible? Why can't it be the guy who's hitting well gets into that spot? Because ultimately, you want your best hitters or your red hot hitters hitting right before Aaron Judge, right? Like maybe that's a new kind of modern approach to the leadoff spot. Maybe you ride the hot hand, the guy who's getting on baseline. Look, Harrison Bader has been absolutely on fire. Like, this is a player who's coming back from injury, stepped in on day one, struggled during his rehab assignments, actually. Stepped in on day one, it's in 381 with a 409 OBP. Now, again, 22 plate appearances, not much, still has 2 homers and 7 RBIs in that time frame. And yesterday against the Athletics, he had another hit and another walk. So you're seeing 857 slugging percentage. I like kind of the aspect of playing this like hot hands kind of situation. What are your thoughts about that in terms of like the leadoff spot being more fluid and the Yankees kind of going with their guys that are just performing well instead of just force feeding reps to Anthony Volpe, who, by the way, I do view as a long-term, solution there, but he's going through a bit of a cold streak. Maybe move him down the order until he gets his bat right, then you move him back up and let Bader kind of take on the reps.
Yeah, one of the big things that you referenced there is just the hot hand, right? Kind of like how the Yankees bullpen, right, roles are very fluid, things change rapidly, and I think that's been a beneficial thing for the bullpen. Adopting that to the lineup would make a lot of sense. Aaron Boone's shown in the past he's willing to mix things up. Aaron Boone, whether you don't like him as manager or do like him as manager, I think it's fair to admit that, he's been able to show in the past that he's willing to make alterations to the lineup that are not traditional or not typical, right? But I think Bader in the leadoff spot, we've seen them do it before, right? Again, the ALCS, they did lead him off a few times when he was red hot. It's not like this team is, coasting in the American League East right now. If they were currently in the Rays situation and Volpe was struggling, I would not care to make lineup alterations, but they need to start winning, right? They can't just say, all right, we took 2 out of 3 against Oakland. That's fine. No. You got to start winning games. Like, put together a win streak. Start getting the ball rolling here. Go on hey, we took 8 of our last 9 games. The Yankees haven't had that all year, right? Even when they were winning every series, it was win, loss, or win, loss, win. It was never, hey, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight games. How do you think the Red Sox got from, 5th in the American League East to one of the best records in the American League? They won 8 of 9 games. They won 8 straight, dropped the last one to the Phillies, but that's how you propel yourself, right? The Rays, they won 13 games. I'm not expecting the Yankees to go 13-0. I think that's a little bit crazy. But, just get on a roll. Get on a roll, start playing consistent baseball, and part of that is putting the right guys in the right spots.
That's exactly right. Putting the right guys in the right spots. The Yankees do this at other positions, right? This is not a situation where it's like, oh, this is a crazy outlandish thing. This is like they do this in the pitching, in the bullpen. They've done this before. Why not go and just give a guy that's red hot an opportunity to hit right before our best player? And look, like I said before, Oakland is kind of this get right series for us. I feel pretty good about our chances. They have one of the worst, offense and one of the worst pitching staffs in the game. So when you're looking at what the Yankees can do right now, get some momentum, get some leverage. And the thing is, they want to make sure that Bader continues to hit well. So I kind of feel like giving him that bit of confidence and putting him in a really prominent spot may give him more of like that mental fortitude, which I think could be a good thing. But, I'll ask you this. If they did move Bader to the leadoff spot, where do you think they would move Volpe? Do you think they would put him down to the bottom, like 9 or somewhere in the middle?
I just hit him 6. Like, he's hitting the ball hard lately. It's not a matter of, like, he's, like, not hitting the ball hard. Like, in his last 32 plate appearances, he's hitting 167 with a 219 OBP and a 333 WRC+. He's also barreling 15% of batted balls and averaging a 92.5 exit velocity, average exit velocity with a 60% hard hit rate. Like, he's hitting the ball hard, 30% line drive rate. He's striking out, obviously, more than you'd like him to in this stretch. But it's not a matter of like, oh, Anthony Volpe isn't making quality contact. Anthony Volpe isn't doing this or that. Don't like, I may be off Twitter, but I'm still lurking, and I definitely see some of the people saying, you over exaggerated. I can't believe you thought, you were wrong about, believing in Volpe already, right? There's one guy who wanted Volpe sent down because he struggled in April and bring up Peraza. I want to remind people that Anthony Volpe is on pace for a 3-WAR season. He's an excellent defensive player. He's an excellent base runner, and he's underperforming his ex-WOBA. So, if he can get his numbers, again, all I care about, like, I would consider a successful Anthony Volpe season a 100 WRC plus, right? That's a successful offensive season for him. I've talked about this before. The list of shortstops who have finished their rookie season with first off having enough play appearances to qualify, but number 2 finishing with an OPS plus or WRC plus above 100 is very short. It's not a very long list. It doesn't happen very frequently. It happens more frequently in recent years, but let's look back at Jeremy Pena, right? Jeremy Pena finishes with a 102 WRC plus last year. Was one of the best rookies in baseball. Great defender, excellent postseason, great base runner. Anthony Volpe is 22 years old, right? I think hitting him 6 just makes sense just because you still want to get him a bunch of at-bats. I think true talent-wise, he's still a pretty solid hitter. But right now, he's struggling. And, for a team, again, that needs to start rattling off wins, they need to take full advantage of the next 2 games they're about to play. You're facing 2 guys in the Oakland pitching staff. Like, their starters have been terrible, but they're facing 2 guys who shouldn't necessarily move you that much, right? A 7.71 ERA for the guy they have going tonight, a 6.62 ERA for the guy they have going tomorrow night. Neither of these guys have a strikeout rate above 13%, right? Like, this team should beat the ever-loving crap out of these guys. And I'm not saying, like, drop 3 runs in 6 innings. I don't want these guys to get to the 4th inning. Like, if any of these guys get to the 4th inning, I'm kind of disappointed. So, part of that is just, as you mentioned, Aaron Boone has shown in the past he's willing to do it. Let's do it again. Let's get, not desperate, but let's push the envelope here. Harrison Bader's hitting the ball well. Harrison Bader's smoking the ball. People don't want to pitch to Harrison Bader right now. Put him in the leadoff spot. Give Aaron Judge that protection in front of him and throw out the Bader, Judge, Rizzo, LeMahieu, Torres 1 through 5, and let's see how these Oakland pitchers respond, because I don't think they're going to like it very much.
Definitely not. But guys, I'd love to hear your perspectives below in the YouTube comments about this kind of concept of moving Harrison Bader up the lineup, with Volpe struggling. Like you said, he's been getting kind of unlucky recently, so I could totally see them just not doing this. But it makes sense. You play the hot hand, put him in a prominent spot ahead of Judge, and, maybe leverage your offense a little bit. And then Volpe gets a chance to kind of take the pressure off, maybe reset mentally, get a couple hits to fall, and then, get back up into the leadoff spot. Obviously, that would be ideal. But always happy to hear perspectives below nonetheless. Make sure to like and subscribe as always, and drop a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple. We appreciate that very, very much. Let's go Yankees tonight. We got a 7 p.m. game tonight and then 12:35, I believe, tomorrow. So an early one tomorrow afternoon. Let's get a sweep and then go into the Tampa series with our heads held high. So appreciate the love as always. And catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees episode.